My name is Cara Reedy. I'm the moderator for this panel, and I'm the director of the Disabled Journalists Association. It's newly formed. I have a couple of announcements on the top. If you click on session on the right-hand side of the screen and then click comments to chat with other attendees and participants, or Q&A to ask questions of the participants, people will be monitoring the chat for you, and if anyone, they'll be monitoring the chat, and so at the end we'll be able to answer any questions. Also, let's see, if you look at the bottom of the screen, there is a button for closed captioning. If you click on that, we have closed captioning today. I'm going to start off by telling a story about the power of media in my life. So storytelling is bridge building. It's the gateway to understanding. It is power. I spent 10 years at CNN feeling unheard. People would pretend to listen to me, and I'm not even sure if they knew they were pretending. Ableism is so wrapped in our society that it's sometimes hard to detect. Mix racism and ableism, and it becomes a soupy mess that the person who's experiencing it even has a hard time defining the discrimination they're experiencing. That was me. I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't figure out why people were so opposed to me telling stories at CNN. It was okay for me to write part-time, but my job at CNN was to take care of the real journalists. That was drilled into me. Defer, understand that you are less than, and if you do well writing or producing, that doesn't change your qualifications or lack thereof. I didn't give up though, and I kept trying to change their minds. Realizing there was a gap in coverage around disability, I said, you know what, I'm disabled. Who would be a better person than me to tell those stories? So I started pitching disability stories to anyone who would listen. I came close to getting one approved. It was about the disability tax, the tax that disabled people have to pay in order to make this inaccessible world accessible for our bodies. We have to build our own infrastructure wherever we go, and that eats into our already tight budgets. So a huge portion of us, Crips, are relegated to poverty for life. I felt like I'd stumbled on something. My editor also felt like I had stumbled onto something. She was so excited about the pitch. So she took it to the executive editor to get clearance to actually start on the work. His response to our pitch was, no one cares about that. 26% of the population, no one cares about, apparently. And so in that moment, I realized it's not me. For some reason, whether they know it or not, these editors are letting their bigotry define 26% of the population, define the narrative around 26% of the population. And as a result of that, me too. They didn't believe we, disabled people, should have access to the power of media. We weren't supposed to control our narrative. It was an aha moment for me. I realized I wasn't the unqualified person in this situation. Everyone else was. That's a huge revelation to someone who has been moving around the world believing they weren't qualified. It also made it clear I was never going to change their minds inside the system. I had to leave in order to have power to tell the stories of my people. To win the narrative war is the most powerful tool any group of people can have.